Okay, so I have been in IT for a long time, like almost 25 years, and I am in information security from 2014 onwards, so almost 10 years. And right now, mostly I'm doing the application assessment, mostly based in on-prem. So I want to get the cloud certification to improve my profile and also like improve my marketability. Specifically, I'm looking for AWS Security Certification.
Okay, got it. Yeah, Ishan, okay, you can go ahead.
Hey, Devi. So,
Hey, Shan.
basically, you do have some prior experience on AWS, right?
No, I don't have experience. Only thing is, I mean, my job is assessment, so I don't configure anything like even like any other tools, like not only on the cloud, but even on-prem tools or anything like that. I don't. So right now, what my plan is to get a hands-on experience with the AWS and security, and also get the certification. So basically, you can think that I just know what cloud is. That's all. I don't know anything else.
Okay. The basically the security certification for AWS is a specialization certification. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, if you look into the prerequisite of that, it actually says you need to have at least 5+ years of experience in the industry plus 2 years of experience in the AWS. And the if you see the documentation, the difficulty level is hard for this examination. Okay.
Okay.
Uh, yeah. So it do require some skill set or some certification prior to that, which is ideally recommended. Okay. Uh, Questions are quite tricky. It's not questions like probably just a straightforward single service
So
is.
Ishan, I am a CISSP certified. I am a CCSK certified.
Mhm.
So I think like the CCSK certification at least indicates that even though I don't have real experience, at least I can say to AWS that I have some cloud experience. So right
Okay.
now, like I don't use any tools, but I do the assessment of the applications that are um, uh, that use the cloud services.
Got it. Okay.
So I mean, the requirement part, I think we can manage,
Okay.
and
That's
difficulty part, I'm ready to put my effort.
perfect. Yeah. That's what I wanted to check.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, I think we can get started. So probably you must be aware about the standard pattern and how the exam is structured. Have you like gone over the probably the guide of the exam?
No, only thing I know is like the certification pattern or the content is changing from this month onwards. Basically, like I didn't do any groundwork because I didn't have that much time. That is one reason, and second reason is like I didn't plan on doing the self study. So I thought like I will join some course, they are going to do it, so why reinvent the wheel kind of thought process. That's all, nothing more than that. But if you want me to go figure out, I can do that. That's not a problem.
No, I can definitely give you a high level highlight, but it's a big
Mm-hmm.
document, so whenever you get some time, you can just give a walkthrough over it, okay? It's not
Okay.
important, but I think it's good if you have just a high level walkthrough yourself too. But
Okay,
on a
sure, I
high
do.
level, yeah, but on a high level, the course or probably the examination consists of certain area, majorly including how do you react to incidents,
Mm-hmm.
okay? And then the area related to logging and monitoring, then area related to infrastructure security, and then area related to the IAM and access management.
Okay.
In this area, basically, the major ask is about policies and roles and delegations. Okay. And
Okay.
then the last and the final is data protection.
Okay.
Okay. So, so major component are something like this. And if I speak about a couple of things, how the question is structured is basically they are looking for in the incident response, like how do you react to a certain incident, and how can you identify that an incident has actually happened. Okay, that's the area where they will be evaluating you on in the incident response.
Okay.
Okay, and then login monitoring is basically around vulnerability assessment and how can you automate your vulnerability assessment, like vulnerabilities on VM, vulnerabilities on your AWS services, like if you have an IAM and SSDs are not rotated on time, how can you react to that? Okay, how can you automate majority of these processes? Okay, and then probably if the network is flowing in and out, and if there is a continuation rejection of the network traffic, how you gonna react to that? So that is something it's going to check you on, logging and monitoring the section.
Okay.
Then on the infrastructure security, the majority of services which checks is like, ho- uh, that's one of the easiest section I would say. It revolves around AWS organization, DOS attacks, uh, access to their infrastructure securely, like using SSM or Bastion nodes. Okay, probably VPC endpoint, etc. And then in the incidents, for the major focus in this area is around IAM policies. How do you evaluate cross-account accesses and transactions? And
Okay.
then probably some of the login procedures, like using identity account, multi-account strategies, or probably S3 security, single sign-on, etc.
Okay.
Okay. And then in the data protection is quite straightforward. It's about how you protect your data, which is in transit and in rest,
Okay.
probably revolving around KMS, HS7, cryptographic things, and troubleshooting some of the key issues, etc. So um, these are the areas or uh, subsection and the part where you get evaluated in the exam are. And speaking about some of the major and the important services on this, is guard duty, access keys, inspector, AWS config, system managers, uh, detective, CloudTrail, VPC flow logs, S3 events, trusted advisors, uh, CloudFronts, SSL management with ACM, WAF, Shield, okay, VPC endpoints. Uh, Probably these are some of the important services which we'll gonna talk a lot about during the service or probably the
Okay.
session. So yeah, is this a high level introduction of the exam all good?
Okay. Yeah. So
Okay.
only thing now, like, because I mean, like, I'm good with the information security knowledge. Only thing is, I just have to figure out, okay, what tool exactly we are going to use and how to like configure it. Those kind of things, right?
Absolutely. The examination does not ask you about the configurations part, but it do ask you given a scenario what service fits right.
Okay.
So that's gonna be your main agenda, to identify the question,
Okay.
identify the keyword, and then look for the right service and the solution.
Like my expectation is not only examination but also like hands-on experience, right? So basically, if tomorrow, like if I'm going for a job interview or something like that, I should be confidently say that I got the experience. So that is what I'm looking for. A practice kind of session, is that that's in your plan to teach me, or can you include that part also? Like I want to get my hands dirty here in the AWS. That way I feel comfortable.
Okay. So uh, I'm not sure, but do you have an AWS account?
No, right now I don't, but I can take it. It's not a problem.
Okay. Uh, sure. So let me just speak to Ganesh about this because ideally, it's not in the course guidelines, but let me speak to Ganesh and see where we can
Mm-hmm.
help you with that, and
Okay.
probably we'll come back to you on that. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. Uh, okay. So that's about it. I'll keep this today's session a little short and
Mm-hmm.
on a very basic things.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then probably as we go ahead, we'll try to put it on an advanced level more and more. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So I think since you are already in the industry, you must be aware about what is an abuse notice.
What is what?
What is an abuse notice?
Okay. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Okay.
In the sense, abuse notice, in the sense abusing the AWS resources or abusing, yeah, like your, I mean, this class, or what do you mean?
So in general, if you keep AWS apart, all the
Mm-hmm.
cloud provider, any of the on-premise infrastructure you have,
Mm-hmm.
if someone as a third
Okay.
party or an external service is abusing your own personal infrastructure or your cloud infrastructure, you can actually legally give them a notice. Okay. So for
Okay.
example, you have a port open and someone actually accesses it and he's
Mm-hmm.
trying to do a email flood attack or probably some kind of attack using your system to another machine. Okay.
Okay.
So that is kind of an abuse of your infrastructure, right?
Okay.
And speaking about a cloud specifically, each
Mm-hmm.
cloud provider provides you a facility called abuse notice, okay, where
Mm-hmm.
when you identify there is a misuse of the infrastructure owned by the cloud provider but used by you within your account, you
Mm-hmm.
can actually report such activity to the cloud vendor, okay, and then cloud vendor can take it separately with with the identified uh, abuser, okay, and take
Mm-hmm.
necessary action against it. So yeah, of course, once you notify them, you need to do yourself some steps in order to prevent, for any further impact on your infrastructure because of that. Uh, Probably that is what a shared responsibility model is.
Mm-hmm.
There is certain responsibility on you, there is certain responsibility on the vendor, right?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
So, speaking about AWS abuse notice, let me give you one example. Okay, let's say you have a VM or an EC2 machine running. Okay, and you actually have identified from the logs, from the logging monitoring system you have configured that there are a lot of uh, requests going out of your EC2 instance, uh, which is uh, which is let's say uh, TCP traffic, but your application is not supposed to make a TCP call. Okay.
Okay.
After you have did some research, you have identified there is some malicious code. Okay. Or
Mm-hmm.
probably there is another machine which is sending a request to your system. Okay. And
Mm-hmm.
the system is responding with some data. Okay. And
Okay.
your flow logs or your network log shows this communication happening. Okay, now since your communication log shows this happening, your ideally these network logs contain the source and the destination IP, okay, and the ports, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, once you have identified, you get that source IP, and you try to do a little bit of IP research, like where you can, of course, if you have an IP, you can go ahead and identify where this IP belongs and what is the location of the initiation of this IP, right? So probably you're gonna identify, and then if you identify, okay, this is with an AWS IPA, okay,
Mm-hmm.
and IP owned by AWS, then you're gonna go ahead and write an abuse notice. So there's a form on an AWS website. If you Google AWS abuse notice, it will give you a it will give you a form, okay, an HTML form, which you actually need to submit to AWS with the IP address you have identified, which is abusing your service. Okay, and then probably port and screenshot and a little bit description and submit it to AWS. Okay, then
Okay.
AWS security team is gonna probably gonna evaluate your request, and if
Mhm.
found right, they're gonna take certain action in a way that it's gonna firstly go to the account holder who actually owns that IP in the AWS infrastructure, and then gonna send them an information and a notice saying that, hey, this is we have received a complaint about this IP. Currently, this IP is owned by you, and this so and so things are happening. Can you go ahead and check it? Okay.
Mhm.
Then it's the person's responsibility. Like if I'm the owner of that AWS account, it's my responsibility to go ahead and do some forensics on that.
Okay.
Okay. So when we do a forensic and if we find it right that yeah, there is something happening, it might be intentional, unintentional. Okay. So we actually have to block that thing and then report back to AWS with our finding within certain days.
Okay.
Okay. And then we also need to include what action we have taken to prevent that.
Okay.
Okay. So that's what AWS abuse notice is and how that works.
Okay.
Okay. Any questions on that?
No, but thing is, like, will you be helping me to understand what exactly we have to do if such a situation happens, where we have to debug, what we have to debug, all those things?
Of course. So as we go ahead in the log monitoring section, you're gonna see how we can identify what network is flowing, traffic is flowing in, and how do we identify such activities.
Okay.
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 The next thing I would like to take about is how have you ever have an incident where your credentials or your keys, the keys which are required for SDK communication between the cloud and your on-premise or your application or something, are compromised. Did you had any such incident in your experience?
Uh, Keys compromised. Mm, no,
Okay.
but basically I am in the assessment, right? My job is to make sure that team is saving the keys in a vault or something like that.
Okay. So yeah, say even if you save the keys into vault or something,
Mm-hmm.
incidents like exposure of key might happen. Okay.
Okay.
It cannot just be, uh, happened only programmatically or when you push it on GitHub or something, but it can also happen if someone accidentally have copied them on their local machines and the laptop is stolen. Okay.
Yeah.
Or
Okay.
probably anyways, yeah, they got rogue and got those keys into the black market. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in any fashion, your keys got exposed. How you gonna respond to that incident? Okay, and it's one of the very common thing which happens in the industry.
Okay.
Because of human carelessness, because of accidents, because of some theft, etc.
Okay.
Okay, so whenever these incidents are reported to you, what should be the action you should take? That is what is expected out of this particular part. Okay.
Okay.
So how do you, how do you respond to the incident of exposed access key? Okay, that might be the question, or a question might be framed around this.
Okay.
Okay. So whenever you have been notified, so now whenever an incident is actually happened, there will be some kind of mechanism which will notify you. And this particular section of incident response contain what happens once you get the notification, what you do. Okay.
Okay.
So suppose you have been notified there is an IAM access key and secret which is being exposed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now what you do? Okay. So there are certain steps which you need to follow. Okay. The steps looks like, firstly identify whose key it is. Okay. So you go ahead in the IAM console and find out whose keys it is by doing a search.
Okay.
Okay. And then once you identify whose key it is, try to notify that person, okay, hey, we have been notified that your keys are exposed. I want you to stop using it immediately. Okay. The
Okay.
second is you go ahead and deactivate the key immediately.
Okay.
Okay. The third is Although you have deactivated your key, but someone might have generated a temporary key out of the main key. So what happens is, you can generate a short-lived token from the longer-living tokens, okay, or keys, okay, using the STS service. Okay. So what happens, for example, I'll give you, whenever you assign an IAM role to to a, to a to an EC2 instance, what internally it does, it is goes and talk to an SSH service and get the access key for its own local purposes, okay, to communicate to the other services. Okay. Uh, so in the similar fashion, anyone, me, you, who has their own personal long-lived credentials or access key can talk to an ST service and get a temporary token, which even works for a small period of time, maximum of 36 hours. Okay. So even if my long access keys, long-lived access keys are null and void or are being restricted, I still have this low STS keys, which will be functional for that duration of time which is remaining. Okay. So in order to prevent any activities of such kind, so although you have deactivated your main keys, okay, as soon as the incident happened, but the hacker or personally the person who has actually hijacked those keys might have generated an STS. So in order to prevent the use of that, we actually have to explicitly add a policy to our user stating that deny any operations from any of the main keys or any of the requests coming from this user. So although there's a short duration keys, they still are attached or bound to your user, right? So if you add an explicit deny to your user, even those short-lived keys will not be usable.
Okay.
So basically the 3 steps: 1, notify the user; 2nd, deactivate the main key, the access key which has been exposed, and then add an explicit deny to that user so that any other temporary keys cannot be used. Okay. The 3rd is to evaluate if something might have gone between the incident, let's say that when the key is exposed versus by the time you have been reported. So there might be some time gap in between, right? So let's say the key are exposed yesterday, but you have been notified this morning. So a lot of things can happen in between this duration, right? So we need to identify what actually happened. Okay. Now here is where our logging and monitoring system come in. Okay. So in logging and monitoring, we have a service called CloudTrail. Okay. Which is when we enable the CloudTrail, this is one of the best practice to enable CloudTrail in each and every AWS account. Okay. So CloudTrail is a service which actually keeps a track of all the events happening on AWS, your AWS account. Basically tracking, it's kind of an activity log. Okay. So you go to this CloudTrail, you enter that key, and you will get a list of all the activities or the API calls which actually happened with the help of those keys. Okay. Then you might need to filter it out, that duration. Okay. So you have a filter from time. You can filter out that duration and see what are the activities has actually happened. And then you are aware what that person actually has done, and you can take necessary actions against it. Like, for example, he might have created some VMs, lot of VMs. Okay. Or probably he might have created an additional user. Okay. Or he might have launched a database. So you can go back to those services and take necessary action. Okay. So that's how you respond to an incident.
Okay.
So far we discussed 2 topics. What do you feel? Is everything okay, or are we good to follow this pattern?
Yeah. Only thing is, like, I mean, will you be able to provide the PowerPoints or any documentation, or why I'm asking is, if you are not, then I have to like make notes that I will remember. So that's why.
I think you have to create a note. I don't have a presentation. Ideally, this is as I asked you, like is something which where a lot of services are well known. So I just give them the scenarios, the ideal scenarios which comes in, to help them identify what they need to do. Okay, and then the question comes around this, so it's easy as you read the option, you know what the right one is. So I prefer you to create your own notes so that if you create your own notes, you know where what it is. Okay.
Okay.
But I can provide you some documentations. Okay, for your references.
Excuse me. Okay, so is it possible, like, okay, to give because right now only thing I know is, okay, EC2 or S3, CloudTrail, things like that. I know is some words, right? So I have to prepare. So if you are like teaching like this, so I have to prepare my foundation, right? Is it possible for you to give me like what you are going to teach like tomorrow? That way, at least I'll spend some time to prepare myself, like what S3 is, what EC2 is, things like that. And also, like, okay, I'm assuming, like, okay, and if we are doing, like, we will do like all the IAM related topics continuously, and then we go to logging and monitoring. Like, is that like that, or what's your pattern basically?
Okay, ideally I go by section by section. So basically I take up 5 sections on the exam schedule and go by
Okay.
section. Okay, each section
Okay.
ideally contain to a probably 4 or 5 or sometime more AWS services. But sometimes these services are interlinked to something else as a solution.
Okay.
Okay, so uh, yeah, but yeah, definitely I can help you with some of the services which you can go and read and come back so that you have much more clarity. We can do that way.
Yeah. Yeah, that helps. That way, I will not get lost,
Absolutely, absolutely. And
Okay.
feel free to stop me and ask if you get lost somewhere. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I will keep it for today. Okay. So
Okay.
I wanted to give you some glimpse of what it is.
Okay.
Okay. In
Okay.
case in case you're comfortable and you opt in and you connect to next session,
Mm-hmm.
it's probably gonna be around AWS Guard Duty, EC2 instances, and probably IAM, CloudTrail, and S3 will always be there in majority of sections.
One second. Let me make a note. Oh, it's I mean, okay, it's not that. Only thing is, okay, so if I need some detailed explanation or something like that, if you are ready to help me out, then I am in.
Yeah,
Basically, I told you, right?
absolutely.
So I don't have any knowledge, so everything is like I'm looking from ground zero. But my goal is to get the certification done as soon as possible, because my current project contract ends in December, so I want to get this certification done before my contract ends. So that
Absolutely.
motivated I am. And absolutely, I'm going to, my goal is to, like, apart from the class, my goal is to like spend at least 2 hours, one and a half to 2 hours additional time to get ready to study and get ready for the certification. So what I'm trying to say is, like, I'll put 100% of my effort, but I need your help also to like get hands-on experience, and also, like, if I need to prepare myself anything advanced, so that thing.
Absolutely.
And okay, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. I will help you. Just stop me and let me know wherever you get confused or you're not aware about it. Just
Okay.
let me know and I'll try my best to solve that.
Okay. And also, your plan is to do like a half an hour class or 1 hour class?
It will be a 1 hour class. It won't be half an hour. It's just that this is the first class and a small
Yeah,
demo.
I
don't want
understand. Okay, 1 hour class. Okay. Today's date is 7/6. Okay. 7th. Okay. So tomorrow. Okay. So okay, for tomorrow, like okay, to start with, so I don't have any AWS account, so basically I have to figure out how to take the AWS account. But tomorrow, do you think I need AWS account ready tomorrow, or I can do that part in the weekend? And can I just like go through the documentation and get familiar with it for tomorrow's class?
Yeah, I think if you have it, it's better, but it's not a hard requirement. So in case you don't even have an account, we can switch a little bit topic up and down so that you get sufficient time to have that ready.
Okay,
So
so I can create the account on weekend. Basically, like okay.
yes.
So tomorrow, what do you want me to like? Which
Okay,
concepts you?
so yeah, so probably I would like you to read a little bit about AWS EC2,
What?
AWS
AWS
EC2,
what? EC2?
EC2,
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
IAM, probably keys and policies about IAM, what are SSPs and policies around that, how those are
Keys,
created, and yeah,
keys and policies. Okay.
yeah, and a little bit about guard duty.
Okay.
Yeah, that should be good for tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, I may not be able to do much tomorrow because like until 6 I'll be working and my family is coming from India tomorrow. So I won't be
Okay.
able to do much, but at least I will try to do some.
Absolutely, no worries.
And yeah, so tomorrow at same 10:30, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And do you mind if I ask where do you work? I mean, if you can disclose that. If you don't, that's okay. If you cannot, that's okay too.
I'm actually not authorized, so sorry.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. 10:30, yeah, 10:30 p.m. EST. Okay. And so Ganesh, is it the same link or
Yeah,
you will send a link to me?
no. Before that, I just want to discuss with you.
Mhm.
Like, Ishan, like as per the plan, can we start from like tomorrow or Monday? Because you don't have an account for AWS, then how we can plan without
I
having
um,
class?
I was thinking, having an account was good. And it's just a 1 day, so
Okay, yeah, yeah.
if we can do it Monday on Monday, that's also fine. But if you want it tomorrow, it's also okay.
Okay, because without having like an account, it will be again
Yeah, it will be a plus. So
and also like Devi, like I just want one favor from you. So as
Mhm.
I create an account for AWS, so you have to like give the same credentials to like Mr. Shan, because the thing is since he's working professional, he cannot use his account, his
Mhm.
account. So if you can able to give him like the credentials to like Mr. Shan, then it will be very good. And for the class purpose, you'll use your credentials daily.
Mhm.
And while practicing, yeah, you can use the same account for the practice because you both
Okay.
going to like use at the same time, right? So for the class purpose daily, you'll take your 1 hour your credentials and you can he'll be teaching you.
Okay. Yeah,
And
that works.
yeah, and also Ishan, we are discussing right like about it may come some so there are some services it will be chargeable. So so as per the plan, like how many days or how many hours required to complete a requirement?
uh, I think the ideally this course like requires 25 to 30 hours.
Okay,
Okay, based on how far the student catches.
okay. And also, like Devi, so you're looking for completely certification kind of training, or you're looking for certification training with like real time as well?
Both.
Both. Okay, got it. Yeah, see that's what. Yeah, if you can bring account like soon, it will be good. If not, like yes, we can have a one basic session tomorrow the same time. I'll share you the link, and from Monday we can have a regular classes. That means your Friday evening and our Saturday morning tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. So tomorrow, like I mean, basically because of my work and family coming back from India, I'll be busy. I won't be able to study much, but um, so if I want to like go through about 1 or 2 topics, I can go through whenever I get the break in my work.
Okay.
Uh, and we can do half an hour class if that helps. If not, we can start Monday. That
Also,
way, at least Sunday I'll get the time to weekend, I'll get the time to create the account and provide you the details, or I can provide the details during the class. So anyway is fine for me.
okay. And also, Ishman, so since like Devi is not from like AWS background, right? So do we covering here any kind of basic services which is not into the content and which normally required to start the course?
Yeah, I think we need to discuss that. Ideally, for this, it is already expected that a student has some prior AWS experience
Yes,
of
yes,
how
yeah.
AWS works and all. So let me see, let me talk to you and discuss out a plan.
Okay, sure.
But I think we can start Monday. Let's give a break and get Devi set up
Yeah,
with things. So,
Monday 10:30, yeah, works for me. And also,
Monday Monday same 8 a.m. IST. That is your Sunday 10:30. It will come.
oh, Sunday 10:30, yeah, that works. Sunday 10:30 also works. Yeah.
That is Monday for us. It will be in the morning. So
what time zone are you in, Devi?
EST.
EST.
So are you fine with the same timing? Like you do have any other plan, Devi? Something?
I mean, like if you want, if you want to do it like 7 o'clock before you go to work, that means 7 o'clock is what, 8:30 for me. Which is better? Like later is better to you or earlier is better? For me, later is better. Like 10:30 is better for me. That way I can finish off all the home chores and sit peacefully here. If not, my son will be coming, where is that curry or where is roti and all that stuff,
Just a second.
So, but so I mean, anything that works for both of is okay for me. I know because you guys also will be working, right? You have to go to work too. So
10:30.
whatever time.
Yeah. So 10:30 means that is 8 a.m. for us. So you are fine with the 10:30, right?
Yeah, I'm fine with 10:30 if you are fine with your time.
Yeah, that's fine. 8 o'clock is fine, right? Like Isha, for us.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Sure then. Like we can start from like Monday, the same time. And I'll create a WhatsApp group as well for 3 of us. And
Okay.
we can have a classes through the Skype, not from like the Zoom, because if it is Zoom, then someone has to start the call, someone has to share the link, and someone has to record, someone has to share the like record. There are many stories. So what
Okay.
we can have a classes through Skype. Well, maybe first 1 or 2 sessions we can have a class through Zoom, and but regular class will be the school through Skype only we can. And
Okay.
if you have any questions like before that, you can ask him. And also like which of the services he told you, like so try to like brush it off so that it will be like good for you to like understand. And also like make sure that like by Monday, at least not by at least by Monday, at least the next class we should have account for AWS. You can create.
Okay. Yeah, I'll work on it. And also, you will record these sessions, right? Will you be able to give the recording to me for
Yes,
future references?
I will create because see, since Shan is working professional, so we cannot like, depend on him. Like we cannot ask him for each and everything. So that is the reason. Like I'll be creating the account, this one recordings, and I'll upload on the drive. So whenever you have questions, you can go through the videos once. And if you have any still questions, then you can pay a post in the WhatsApp group as well. So based on
Yeah.
this, okay, he'll be helping you.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay then. Yeah. So yeah, just you guys talk to each other and come up with a plan for me with the basics and the security together,
Okay, sure.
and we'll go from there.
Okay, sure. Devi. We will try to like the share you the content also, like, and it's not, if not content, at least the major concept I will share with you.
Yeah.
So you will get the content from my team.
Okay. Thank you.
Any questions, Devi?
No. Nothing. Basically, like I'll try to see if there are any Udemy courses that's going to help me out with some basic content. I'll try to figure out and do that.
Yes.
But if you know any good Udemy courses, just let me know if that is something in a reasonable price that that is affordable for me. Like I can buy, or they are on the sale, I can buy and listen to them. That way it gives
This is not
it.
like about amount, but even say I saw like many times the Udemy courses are like very basics. They not even like teaching like even more than 10% of the practical thing also. This is not
Mhm.
about like a amount or something, because any Udemy course it will cost like very cheaper. Like you will get like for 500, 600 itself. Even for example, if you go to like a AWS practitioner or else AWS even solution architect also, because these all topics will cover in the solution architect, right? So if you go for that, like you'll be getting for 599 or 699 something, not more than that. But we have to you make sure that like what are we the topics we discuss. So you can go to the first course content. Definitely, like each and every course they'll mention like the content what they're going to cover as part of the course. So then you can buy.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
because even if you type like AWS solution article in Udemy, you will get almost 30 courses. Okay, so in that,
Yeah. Some, yes, yeah, some are good, some are not good, all the drama is there with the Udemy courses too.
yes.
Yeah.
You can just
And when you buy a course, you buy it and there is, having a teacher and having that responsibility that, okay, you're going to meet the
that's
teacher,
no,
so
no.
you have to study. That
Udemy,
is different than doing on your own convenience,
no, no. A Udemy course is like why Mr. Ishan told you to like go through is like to get at least a basic idea.
Mhm.
Okay. Then when he again explain like everything to you, then you can able to understand like 100%.
Yeah, that's
Before
true.
something like if we go through it, if you can do some research, then it will be helping you to like grasp everything.
Yeah, I agree.
That is the only reason like we just asking you to like do
Yeah,
something.
yeah, no worries, no worries. I'll do. Mhm.
Okay then. So
Sure.
if you don't have any questions, then we can wind up now, Devi.
Yeah, yeah,
And
we can close the call.
see you on Monday morning, like my time, and your time is Sunday night.
Yeah.
Okay, the link for one or two sessions. Then I'll create a WhatsApp group.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, Devi. You
Thank
can
you.
drop it off. Like let me speak to Mr. Shan.
Sure. Okay then. Bye, Isha. Bye, Ganesh.
Bye.